We'll begin our next section together with a question. How is the brain and its perceptions of life different from a healthy person to a traumatized person? The answer to this question has to do with the ways in which that trauma changes the brain. And it changes the brain in three primary ways. The first way is that my threat perception becomes enhanced. After a trauma, my brain will naturally become more fear-driven. The goal of this brain, the traumatized brain, is to pick out threats before they can see me first. Now, on an evolutionary note, this has served us well. Human beings come into the world with negativity bias that has helped us survive for thousands of years. We're able to pick out threats in our environment, weigh them out, and see if they are still threats once more data has been collected. Which brings us into our next way in which trauma has changed the traumatized brain, and that is our filtering system. Our filtering system gets knocked off kilter. So where a healthy brain would be able to find threats and discern if they are threats right then at that moment, the traumatized brain can no longer decipher whether or not that threat is important right now. An example would be that my trauma has to do with a dog bite, and when I go outside, I hear a dog barking, I see the dog playing behind a fence, but my brain still reacts in a panicked way even though that dog is separated from me by a strong fence that's not likely to give. My filtering system has gotten knocked off kilter. The third way that trauma changes the brain is that our experience of self, be it our lower self and our contracted emotions, or our higher self and our expanded emotions, becomes blunted. I begin to have a dampened response to all emotions across the board.